Hi, welcome to my channel. My name's Cherie, and today I want to talk about so many things that sabotage women into becoming the full divine feminine that she truly is. Number one, they took away her religion. Yes, divine feminine, she had her own religion on what it was to be a woman and a mother. Yes, they took that away from her. Then they took away her identity. Okay? Instead of treating her like a woman, they treated her like a child. Yes. Told her she couldn't think for herself. She needed someone to think for her. Told her God was a man, and that the only way she could get to heaven is if she has a man that approves, because he can disapprove. Oh yeah, he can curse you. Okay? So then let's fast forward to 2025, right? 2025, women have no culture, right? The traditions that are available is his story of how things should be, the way it's always been, and the way it is always going to be. Okay? And he's like, it's approved by his God, therefore everybody should approve. Everybody should approve. Okay? So when she doesn't have a tradition, when she doesn't have the right to be a divine feminine, when she doesn't have the right, to be treated as an adult with intelligence, okay? She's sitting up here trying to figure out, well, what is she supposed to do? And he jumps right back in there, right? I tell you what you're supposed to do. But you know what? Men are very neglectful. They really are. Okay? They don't know how to nurture properly. So, when they tell you stuff to do, they don't know that there's mean time in between time, right? They forget about that when it comes to a woman. And so she's like, okay, when he can't tell her everything to do, like give her a list, a checklist that she's supposed to check off and all of this stuff, he doesn't even want to do that. He doesn't even want to do that. Okay? So, and even if he was to do it, nobody can read his handwriting. Because, a lot of men, once they get out of school, they forget how to read and write. Yeah. So, then she starts seeing that her world consists of mostly cooking and cleaning. Right? Cooking and cleaning. Okay? And when he spends time with you, it's usually at the dinner table. When he spends outside time with you, it's usually at a restaurant. I mean, there was a time, y'all could go to the movies, but now even the movies have become an epicenter of him feeding you, right? Everywhere he goes, he feeds you, right? And then, once you get overweight, he's like, why are you so fat? And you tell him, because all the time that we spend together, you feed me. Right? We go to the state fair. You feed me. We go to the movie theaters. You feed me. We go to the restaurant. You definitely feed me. Right? You come home from work. The only thing we do together is eat together. That's it. So, why wouldn't you think that feeding is a major part of a woman's identity at this time? Right? And that's why some men, they can get away with murder as long as they bring her some chocolates, even alcohol, because alcohol has a way of satisfying that sugar rush, for sure. Oh, that's nice. I see two couples out here walking hand in hand, right? So I had my dinner today, and I cooked some catfish. Now, I'm not really a big fan of catfish. Most of the time when I cook catfish, I fry it until it's almost as good as a, what do you call those things? It's almost as good as a pork rind. Where you fry it so much that it doesn't have no it doesn't have no flavor. It's just crispy. Yeah, that's how I usually eat my catfish, because the catfish would taste. It would have a dirty taste to it. Okay, it would have a dirty taste to it, and I didn't like that. So, what I had to do this time with my catfish nuggets is I didn't deep fry them. Now, I've had them where they weren't deep fried and it didn't taste that good. But this one tastes really good. And the reason why it tasted really good was because I added coconut on top and lime juice. Yeah. And when it finished cooking with my regular spices, which is like, all seasoned garlic spice and salt and pepper, and then I did put a coating on there of flour, but it wasn't deep fried. Okay? So anyway, it ended up tasting really good. But another thing that, women have to learn how to do, whether they're with a partner or not, is after they eat, to try to spend at least 10 minutes of walking after they eat. So, because I had a whole plate. I had a whole plate of catfish nuggets, and I'm feeling pretty good. I didn't have nothing else with it, just catfish nuggets. That I said, me and my Snoopy baby, we're going to get out here and walk for at least 10 minutes. So what I also been doing is I've been practicing, exercises that I can do in the house. As it starts to cool down, there's going to be more time that it's just too cold to go outside. And you need a variety of exercises, because I did experience, a type of burnout, because I kept doing the same exercises over and over, right? And you have to figure out, ways to stop the burnout. So the days that I didn't want to do my exercises, I watched Monique's exercise channel, and I was lazy, but I did do some of her stand in place exercises with her fitness trainer for 10 minutes. Okay? And also, what it helped me to do was to take the time out and do 15 minutes of yoga stretching. So 10 minutes of exercises, 15 minutes of yoga stretching, boom, we got 25 minutes of healthy living, right? Now today, it was a little bit different. Today, I did just straight yoga, right? Because I came to recognize that when it came time to do the dead man's pose, that I was just overstimulated, overstressed, riddled with anxiety, that was the hardest part of the exercise. Was to be able to sit, lay down and pretend like you're dead. So I decided I'm gonna probably have to do 6 months of yoga, a minimum of 3 times a week, because if I can't do the dead man pose, if the dead man pose was difficult for me, what the hell is going on? So, yeah, I hope that by February, I'll be able to dead man pose for at least 10 minutes. Yeah. So anyway, I've been trying to figure out, what I should do once the weather permits me to get back onto my projects. It's just been too hot to do the projects. And I'm proud of myself. I went through the whole summer without turning on the air conditioner, even though last night I was tempted to put the window unit in, but I did not. The night before, I was tempted to put the window unit in. Yeah, because it's been hot. It's been like in 80 degrees, clear until around
Audrey had told her that Daniel.
I say about 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning. Then it drops down to like the high 70s. So, yeah. I have ran out of protein mix, and You know, I've been trying my best not to cheat on my food budget. Okay? Let's go down here and put our feet in the water. Yeah. Come on. Come on. Ah, we're back down here. Putting our feet in the water. Hey. Feels good. And that's the one thing that I was thinking about. How most of our water sources are so filthy that you can't even get in the water anymore. There's no getting in and swimming. I mean, you can get away with putting your feet in the water, but I don't recommend you getting your whole body wet. Because just too many people like to do nasty things in the water besides pollution. Like all up here, you can see all the plastic trash and stuff. You want to see if we can walk across? Huh? Let's try to walk across. We gonna try to walk across. This is the adventure for the summer. See if we can walk across the creek. Ain't that weird? But that just goes to show you what has happened to, you know, our standard of life, especially for women. You know, we don't get out much. We don't adventure much. Now, we do have some women who have decided that if it means that they're gonna have to find another job or start all over again, they're gonna still take this opportunity you know, to take adventures in life. And because men had dominated, you know, the environment, and the resources, and gave them the assignment of taking care of the home base and to stay there and not go anywhere. You know, women haven't been able to enjoy their life at all. But thankfully, like I said, there's a marginal portion of women who are out there falling in love with Earth again. Because there are a lot of women who just don't like their life because of the way men have made it. And men will say, well, why do we blame them? And it's like, because, you forced me out of the workplace. You forced me out of the home. You make it dangerous for me to exist under the guise that I will need you to protect me. But you're the one I need protected. But you're the one I need protection from. And I mean, even if, even if women went after each other, nine times out of 10, once we break a nail, once we pull off a weave, it's like, all right. And what I'm trying to say is most of the time women don't fight to the death. For what? They just don't have that kind of ego. So, hopefully, during this new Aquarius era, women are going to be able to have an identity. They're going to be able to have a culture, not his story, not what he tells us we should do, not tell us that we're supposed to be in love with their phallic just because that's what some old man said and wrote it down and indoctrinated the world with. I can go all over the internet, and most of the time what I see is videos about men talking about women, videos of men how to get women, how to conquer women, how to read women, how to and I'm like, why don't they ever talk about themselves if they're so great? And they don't. No, none of them are candid or transparent enough to talk about themselves. And if other men try to talk about other men, they make it seem like they done broke the manosphere code. So Yeah. I just wish we would stop feeding into the dumb shit.